What's good? What's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops, coming to you with another episode of NBA Talk. Today, we finally have an opportunity to recognize the superstar NBA defender. The superstar NBA defender. If you like this video, smash that like button for me. Hit subscribe and the bell for notifications for new videos dropping to you regularly. The reason why I had to do this video is because recently there was a debate going on between whether or not Rudy Gobert or Donovan Mitchell had more value to the Utah Jazz. And as they began to debate, it was a channel that I subscribe to and a podcast that I follow from Pick a Side, right? Sometimes I think they be grabbing video ideas from my channel, but it's all good. I still follow them. But the thing was, they began making these debates on both sides, and I began to realize, the issue, the problem, is in the question itself. Who is more valuable? And the reality that I came to is that both are just as valuable. Because in the same way that Donovan Mitchell is a superstar, I think it's time that we began to actually observe what we are saying. Donovan Mitchell is a superstar offensive player, not a superstar, period. Right? And there's a difference. Because what we have to acknowledge is that as much as Donovan Mitchell is a superstar on offense, he is a liability on defense. And in fact, when we take a look at it, Rudy Gobert might be less of a liability on offense than Donovan Mitchell is on defense. But there's no mistaking that Rudy Gobert is a superstar on the defensive end. He's not a star. He's not good at defense. He's not even just great at defense. He is downright elite. He is the Dikembe Mutombo of our time. He is the elite rim protector, defensive anchor, defensive floor general, putting all of his teammates in the right position, backing them up, reinforcing them, making them look 10 times better defensively than they really are. With a team full of unathletic forwards and aging guards, he keeps them at the top of the defensive rating, similar to how Dwight Howard did with the Orlando Magic, except he never had a Donovan Mitchell sidekick. Now, we can get into a debate who was better in their primes, Dwight Howard or Rudy Gobert, and that might be a fun video. Let me know in the chat box if you guys would like to see that video. But Rudy Gobert is a superstar on the defensive end. And unfortunately, many times when these superstar defensive players get these max contracts, everybody is in an uproar and starts talking about how overrated or overpaid they are. But right now, what we're seeing is it's being illuminated just how valuable they are. Rudy Gobert had been out for, I want to say, 5 or 6 games. And the Jazz immediately began slipping, losing games. And Donovan Mitchell was there and couldn't do anything about it. In fact, almost everybody was there except for Rudy Gobert. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. Because the difference that he makes for this team on the defensive end is the difference between them being a winning, title contending team, or at least a playoff team, and an average team hoping to make the playoffs. And we see that. And Not just are we seeing it with the Utah Jazz, but we're also seeing it with the Golden State Warriors. Guess who's been out recently? Draymond Green. Guess who's been sliding recently? Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. Now, for some people, they might think it's absurd to compare these two players, but similarly, Draymond Green is a superstar defensive player. Yes, he brings a whole lot more in terms of leadership and being a floor general and being a coach on the floor. And he's also an amazing facilitator. And he's getting better and better at scoring. And in much of the same way that Rudy Gobert is improving, Draymond Green continues to improve. He's getting better at shooting and knocking down open threes and free throws and things like that. But it's to say that many times we begin to look at one side of the court and completely fail to recognize the impact the other side of the court has on a team's winning ability. You see, I believe, and I'll say this over and over again, you take Draymond off the Golden State Warriors, they don't win those championships. Matter of fact, you take Draymond Green off the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry by himself might be Bradley Beal. I'll say that again, he might be Bradley Beal. An amazing scorer. I don't know if he gets out of the first round without an elite defender who does so many of these other things that complement his game. And the same thing with the Utah Jazz and Donovan Mitchell. You take him off this team, he might be Bradley Beal, which is sad to say. It almost feels like Miles Turner would be the perfect pickup for this Washington Wizards team. Because maybe that's what Bradley Beal is really missing, not an offensive sidekick, but a defensive anchor. And so when we begin to see these teams and we begin to assess value of these players, we have to understand it's not just about who can score. Yes, as much as the game is about scoring, it's also about keeping the other team from scoring. And if you can't do that, even if you have an amazing offensive player, you're only going to go but so far. Maybe you'll get into the playoffs. But how far are you going to go? How far are you going to go? So I want you guys to let me know what you think. Do you think these guys are really superstars and should be getting paid like such? Do you think Miles Turner would be an amazing running mate for Bradley Beal to help him make that jump that Donovan Mitchell has made and Stephen Curry has made? Maybe not to the same extent, but who knows? If you like this video, hit the like, subscribe, the bell, and I'll see you next time. Peace.